Hi, my dear dazzling stars. Again, welcome to the Practical English channel. So, our today's topic is again writing part, that is email writing. Email means electronic mail. Okay, electronic mail. That means you can say it is also known as paperless mail or paperless letter, one kind of, isn't it? So for the electronic mail, you are using gadgets like computer, laptop, laptop, etc. And that is also connected with the network, isn't it? So for this, for sending an email, we require computer, mobile, laptop with internet connection. So what is an email? What is an email? Email is a way of sending messages and data. That means a way of sending messages and data to other people by means of computers connected together in a network. That means computer is required, mobile is required, laptop or laptop is required with a good connection, connected together in a network. Network is required. Okay, that means you can say it is a paperless mail. That means without paper. Okay, then come to what is the format of email writing. As we are going to appear in the exam, for the exam purpose we are reading the formats. Most of you have sent the emails. Most of you have sent the emails. You know it in a better way. You are sitting in front of a computer and you are working in mobile phones. Still then, it is also necessary to know the format of the email writing only to meet the need of our examination. Okay? Okay. Now, please remember, first what you will write? That means from. From means in letter format, you know. From you are writing your whole address while you are writing a letter. But as it is an email, so from means email ID of the sender. That means if you are sending an email to other person, you should have created an email ID. That means, for example, one is given sing2@yahoo.com. Like this, you will open, you will create an account. Okay, that means first what will come? Email ID of the sender. If you are a sender, you have to create an email ID, and here only you have to write the email ID only. Other things are not required. Okay, then to whom you are sending an email. Suppose you are sending to me an email. That means you have to write my email ID. That means email ID of the receiver. That means who receives it. Who receives it, his or her email ID is required. Suppose this one is receiver. That means what is his email ID? For example, it is given telly05@gmail.com. In this way, you should know your email ID, and to whom you are sending, you should know his or her email ID. Okay, then come to date. In which date you are sending, you have to write. That means computer, it comes in automatically as you are going to write in a pen and paper in examination paper. That means you have to mention the date. Suppose today's date, in which date you are going to send, that date will be mentioned. Okay, then time. Time is required. At what time you are sending? Suppose you are sending 10:15, you write 10:15. Suppose you are sending at 10:20, like that, you will write the time. That means from to date, then at the exactly right side of the date is time. Okay, then sometimes if you have sent an email to anyone by sitting in front of the computer, you have seen that automatically it shows the CC. CC means what? Na carbon copy. Carbon copy. Carbon copy. Carbon copy means mail to more than one person. Suppose this, I have written an email and I want to send 3 persons. 3 persons. Suppose I want to send at a time 3 persons, known persons. That means particular mail to more than one person. If you are sending to more than one person, then there will be a CC. That means carbon copy. That means in the examination, it is also not required. It is also not required because you are sending an email to one person. But practically when you are sending it, if it requires to send more than one persons, then it is CC required. But in the examination purpose, you may write CC or you may not write CC. There is no compulsion. Okay. Then BCC. If you have marked, if you have watched the computer, you have seen BCC. BCC means blind carbon copy. Blind or carbon copy means to send the mail more than one person. But here, same thing, more than one person. Here more than one person, but their IDs are known. You know that persons. But at a time you want to mail more persons without knowing receivers. Suppose who are the receivers you don't know, but you are sending the mail. That means blindly you are sending. Blindly. That means your aim is different, but you want to know that more people will get it. So that is known as blind carbon copy. That means BCC. In the examination point of view, if you write it is right. If you don't write, there is no problem. CC and BCC, it depends upon you whether you will write or not. If you write, no problem. If you don't write, there is no problem regarding CC and BCC. BCC means, please remember, blind carbon copy. Clear? Clear? Mail to more persons. Here difference. Carbon copy means mail to more than one person, but more than one person means their email ID, they are known to you. But blind carbon copy means more than one person, but whose ID is not known to you, and your intention is not to send him. Intention is not to send him, but you want to have the more people will know. Okay. Then subject. Subject means clue to content. Only you will give the clue. That means from the subject one can understand that the mail must be regarding this thing. Okay. That means clue to content. But short but eye catching. But it should be eye catching. It should be eye catching. Okay. Then after that, dear sir, if it is formal letter, formal email, official purpose if you are sending, then you can write dear sir, respected sir. Or if you are writing an email in informal way to your friend, to your uncle, to your father, etc., then you can write dear, anyone's name you can take. I have taken dear Rakesh, I don't know who is he. Okay, but etc. It is. But after that, if you know the formal letter and the informal letter, it will be easy for you. But while you are writing an email, that means after dear sir or respected sir or dear friend, etc., then appropriate greeting and warm opening. That means you should open that email. You should start the writing in such a way, that means definitely one will get the greeting, appropriate greeting. That means friends, you will in a different way greet him. If to the boss, if to the authority, you will write in a different way. That means appropriate greeting should be mentioned and warm opening. That means your opening, stage opening will be like that. That means everyone will take, he or she will take the interest to read it, to solve your problem. That means it is the first paragraph. First paragraph means at least two lines is sufficient. It's another paragraph. That is known as appropriate greeting or warm opening section. Okay. Then come to content. That means in content, what you are going to, what's your aim? Why are you writing the letter? Why are you writing an email? What's the purpose? What the communication you want to communicate him or her? That means content is required. But content, what should be? Now it should be very clear and brief in message. That means no need to write like this. 2 pages, 1 pages, more than 100 words, 8 words, like that. Don't write. But be clear. Your motto should be clear and brief in message. That means your message should be very brief. It is the second. it is the first para, you can say 2 or 3 lines, then a content may be 3 or 4 lines, 4 or 5 lines like that, then nice closing. After that, you have to close. After writing the message, after sending the message, after writing the message and becoming clear, that means you will make a nice closing. That means 1 line, at least 1 or 2 lines, it will be closed. Thanks for reply. Outing your quick response. Let me know after reading the email. In this way, you will close it. After closing, what will happen? A complimentary close. Already I have told you, complimentary close. Complimentary means if you are writing to the boss, authority, official purpose, then you can write regards. If you are writing to a friend or younger brother, you can write with love. Okay. After that, name of the sender I have written. Don't write the name of the sender. Don't write it. After that, you write your name, nickname or known name, or Rakesh, your name you can write not full. That means after that you keep it in a box. Okay. If you keep it in a box, then everything will be ready. That means what you are getting, again I am discussing, you listen. Format means from, that means email ID of the sender. That means you will write the email ID of the sender, then to email ID of the receiver who is receiving, then come to date, you will mention in the examination paper, and time you will also mention. Then CC and BCC, that means CC carbon copy and BCC means blind carbon copy. It depends upon you. If you write, that is right, there is no problem. If you don't write, there is no problem. But you should know what is CC and BCC. In many reference books, you have marked that CC and BCC are mentioned. Okay, if you write, that is right. Don't write, no problem. Okay, then subject, subject you will get, subject matter you will get from the question. Okay, that means clue, you will give the clue, but it should be short. Then come to salutation, what you are saying, dear sir or respected sir, it depends upon the letter, it depends upon the email writing. That means if it is formal, you have to write in formal way. If it is informal, you have to write in an informal way. That means three paragraphs you have to make, very short paragraph. That means appropriate greeting should be there and warm opening should be there. Then content, very clear, be clear and brief in your content or message. Okay, then close it nicely. That means it is known as nice closing. Then complimentary close, don't write complimentary close. That means here you will write one line only, thank you. Okay, nice to me, outing your good response, like that. Then regards is official purpose regard, or in informal way, then love. After that your signature, then you keep it in a box. But it is the format. But while you are writing, you should be very cautious. That means avoid incorrect spelling and wrong punctuations. That means, my dear students, you are not writing while you are working the computer. That means at that time you are not writing, you are just typing. Sometimes what happens, now there is a chance of incorrect spelling. And also wrong punctuation. While you are writing, you try to avoid incorrect spelling and also punctuation marks. Okay. Number 2, my dear students, it is seen that most of the students are writing in SMS language. short language, SMS language you can say. That means you should have to write RARE, but you are writing R. You should write YOU, but you are writing U. But you should have to write SEEC, but you are writing C. You have to write TW2, but you are writing a numerical number. That means these should be avoided. No SMS language. Clear? While you are writing the examination paper or practically, really, if you are writing, you should avoid these. Okay? You should know why I am telling. Why it is said? Because you are not talking to the computer. You are sitting in front of the computer. Computer is helping you a lot. How to send, how to type. But you should remember that the real person whom you are sending is at other hand. That means you think that to whom I am giving, he is in front of me. Okay. As you are thinking that you are sitting or talking to the computer, that's why you are using what? SMS language. Don't use the SMS language. Okay? And also very trickily I am telling you that use simple, plain and updated English. Simple, full simple, short sentence, okay, plain sentences, and also updated English. Updated English means if you are reading the newspaper and if you are watching many letters and reading many letters, then you can able to understand. Okay, these are the things. But one thing you have to remember, word limit for the examination purpose. For the examination purpose, you can obey the guidelines of what? Guidelines of what? Word limits. Word limits is required because marks depends. Okay. Now the homework. It is the homework. What is given? See the question. You got a chance to fly in an aeroplane. Suppose you got a chance to fly in an aeroplane for the first time. For the first time. If you have not flown in an aeroplane and first time you are going to fly in an aeroplane, what? It is an describe your exciting feelings. What's your feelings? How do you feel? What happens? What's your expectations? That means you describe your exciting feeling to your friend. Friend means you know that it is an informal letter, like informal letter. That means you will express very short. Your feelings should be very short. Friend in a form of email writing. And please, my dear students, remember word limit is given 80 to 120 words. Minimum will be 80 words and maximum will be 120 words, not more than that. Okay? Did you understand? Dear students, my dazzling stars, have you understood? Is there any problem? Can you do this homework? If you practice this homework at your home, definitely 90% you will cover. Definitely, it is guaranteed. You will 90% cover. And rest 10%, if you are reading books, then automatically it will be developed in your mind. Then you will do it in a better way in the examination. Bye beta, bye.